from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, July 9th. So today we have the moon in this Sagittarius energy shifting into Capricorn energy at 4:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing a finality to another long-ass void. The moon has been void for almost 36 hours yet again this week, and that is a very strange thing to happen, but it's very necessary as we kind of sit in this floaty energy and start to recalibrate. So first of all, to have the moon kind of anchor into a new energy such as Capricorn is definitely going to be felt. We're moving from the high, fiery, floaty, confusing energy, the scatterbrain energy, of Sagittarius, where we were definitely seeking truth, seeking answers, seeking a deeper meaning, deeper purpose to a lot of the struggle, a lot of the circumstances that, of course, we are currently sitting in. When we shift into Capricorn energy, it kind of feels initially like we hit a brick wall because we're going from fire energy to earth energy. We're going from trying to see the big picture and staying optimistic and staying relatively, let's call it, erring on the side of plucking out the silver linings of our situation to the negative narrative that Capricorn energy usually throws us in because, of course, we feel the weight of the world on our shoulders with this Capricorn energy. We have roles and responsibilities that we need to be living up to. We have to fix our lives, so to speak. It is the general foreman of the zodiac, which means that we have to take a good look at what is working, what isn't working, and typically speaking, we want to identify what is blocking us, what is challenging us, what is limiting us, what is restricting us from bringing the greater, grander vision, if you will, into fruition. Now, it's not all bad because, of course, Capricorn energy is the manifesting energy of the zodiac. So we do have the ability to kind of get a grip, get organized, if you will, on what we want to build and create, what we need to build and create, especially where foundations and structures are concerned in order to house the long-term goals, visions, and dreams that we're currently trying to piece together in our mind's eye. So we have to kind of remember that we have a full moon in Capricorn coming up. So the minute that we dip our toe into this Capricorn energy, the intensity, the tension, the conflict within us is going to start building. We are going to feel that become super overwhelming as we build towards the 18th degree of this Capricorn energy that, of course, the full moon will be popping off on July 10th. So there's definitely going to be a shift, a major shift in the mood, in the attitude here today. Now, that being said, there are 10 different aspects popping off here today. All 10 are involving the moon, which makes it a moon day. And moon days are a day where the emotions are a little bit more intense because it's a time to kind of redefine what it is that we want, need, and desire and what we need to do to get it and to realign with our truth, with our ideas, with our visions, with our goals, with our future. So there's definitely going to be some triggers and activations coming at us here today. Of course, we are in Cancer season, which means that the moon moving into this Capricorn energy is going to be showing us where it is that life has gotten out of whack. Cancer, Capricorn, they share the safety, security, and stability axis in the zodiac wheel. And so we have to kind of be illuminated to what is out of whack in order for us to bring it back into balance. So let's dive in. First of all, we have one aspect taking place that is still very much rooted in this void. So the moon in Sagittarius in this long ass void is going to make one interaction here today, and it is with Mercury. Mercury is the ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, how it is that we express ourselves. He is slowing down in this Leo energy as he approaches his retrograde here in just a little bit, but he's still fully functional. With Mercury in Leo energy, we are trying to get heart and head aligned. We are trying to be expressive with new thoughts, ideas, with new truths, with new emotions. We are trying to kind of, I'm going to say, wrap our head around what our emotional self needs from us. And spoiler alert, we need to boss up. We need to be bold, brave, and courageous to do all of the hard things that we have been avoiding. So we have the moon in this void, in Sagittarius energy. We have Mercury in Leo energy. Yes, this is fire on fire action, but it's not working well. Okay, so when it's not working well, we are going to have little triggers and activations illuminate to us where it is that we're not really on the same page. Emotionally speaking, in Sagittarius energy, we're thinking about the future. We don't want to really be kind of standing in the present moment at all. But of course, that moon is in the void, so we're questioning our future, we're questioning the path, we're questioning what it is that we actually want to be doing with ourselves. And of course, with Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, in Leo energy, we do have some big ideas, but whether or not we feel capable or confident enough to actually bring those goals, visions, and dreams to life, this is where the second guessing is taking place. This is where the backpedaling is taking place. This is where we're creating anxiety. Let's just get real with it. Now, when it comes to communication, we have to factor that in as well, because of course, Mr. Mercury is all about communication. There could be a lot of hypotheticals being talked about, a lot of what ifs, a lot of potentialities, if you will, but nothing is really rooted into reality. This is all, again, like a vision, a goal, a dream. I could do this and we can do that and we could try this and we could try that. But nothing is really being acted upon right now, and nothing is really being grounded or anchored in as far as initiating or manifesting a new path goes. At 4:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon is going to shift into this Capricorn energy, and it is going to take us out of that void. This is going to work very well for us. Just a couple of minutes later, we have the moon in this Capricorn energy now, making a very harsh interaction with Uranus, the Great Awakener, who of course is fresh in this Gemini energy. So typically speaking, Capricorn energy, Gemini energy, there's a lot of kerfuffle in order to get these two on the same page. First of all, we have a cardinal earth sign with Capricorn. We have a mutable air sign with Gemini. Cardinal energies want to take action and make moves and initiate something new based off of the information, wisdom, and knowledge that we receive that proves to us that a change needs to definitely be made. The Capricorn energy is thinking long term. What can we do right now to set ourselves up for this long-term vision and dream to actually be manifest? However, the mutable air energy, mutability means that we want to change everything up. We want to switch everything up. We want to experiment. We want to try something new. And in Gemini energy, because it's represented by the twins, we're very divided on what this new exploration, this new experiment should actually be, this new path, this new adventure, this new quest. Now, considering the fact that we have not had very much time to acclimate to Uranus being in this Gemini energy, again, everything in the headspace is being rewired. And so emotionally speaking, the rigidity of wanting to stick to the plan that the moon in Capricorn has had, it's coming up to bumping into this new idea, this new perspective, this new information. And we're not really settled in it. We're kind of challenging that idea, that plan, that strategy. And so emotionally speaking, we're creating a lot of anxiety, a lot of confusion, because what we thought we were pursuing, now we're questioning. We then have the moon in this Capricorn energy getting into the boxing ring, squaring off with Saturn. So Saturn rules over this Capricorn energy, and Saturn, of course, is in Aries energy. A square is taking place because we're dealing with cardinal and cardinal energies, a cardinal earth, a cardinal fire. Now, here's the issue. A square is highlighting where we're going through a growing pain. And emotionally speaking, the moon in Capricorn wants to stick to the plan, wants to stay the course. Saturn in Aries energy knows that we have to burn the whole thing down and start from scratch, because trying to improvise, trying to make those improvements to a shaky ass unstable structure is only going to mean that when we actually, let's say, build this house on this weak ass foundation, that the house is likely going to fall down in a very short amount of time. Saturn is helping to build this new identity and to build these new wants, needs, and desires, and to show us where it is that we need to not only restructure how it is that we are showing up in the world, but where it is that we have to kind of reformat, rebuild, restructure the materialistic realm that we've built. And so the roles and responsibilities that are weighing heavily on our shoulders right now of what we got to do in order to get to where it is that we desire to be, it's paralyzing. It's very challenging. it is definitely putting us in a funk, in a mood, in an attitude that is very negative Nancy, very pessimistic Patty. And of course, that doesn't feel good. The moon in Capricorn then gets into the boxing ring, squares off with Neptune. Neptune is freshly retrograde in this Aries energy as well. And so the retrograde energy, of course, with Neptune, and again, we haven't really had a whole lot of time to acclimate to this particular energy shift either. But Neptune being retrograde, the rose-colored glasses have been slapped off the face, my friend. So we're not really thinking as far into the future as we would prefer. We don't really get to sit around and dream about or fantasize or imagine what it is that we want to build and create, because the mess of what we've already built and created out of that old version of self, that's a mess. We gotta clean this up. We gotta tie up these loose ends. We got to, really address the problematic situations in front of our faces instead of disassociating and thinking of a better time. We have to be present. We have to be aware of what is working, what isn't working, and actually do something about it. And of course, Neptune is bringing this overwhelming, let's call it pressure, because we, technically speaking, are trying to avoid and resist what we know is our responsibility. We don't really want to rise to the challenge. We really don't want the roles and responsibilities that are currently on our plate right now, especially to be on the cleanup crew, to clean up the situations and circumstances that the old version of self has built and created. So there's definitely some tension here. There's definitely some conflict, some friction here. Thus, the square. We're going through a growing pain, realizing where it is that, we have roles and responsibilities that we need to rise up into, but we really don't want to. We would rather fantasize about a different time in our lives instead of doing what needs to be done in this present moment. We then have the moon in this Capricorn energy making a beautiful interaction with Pluto, the great transformer, who of course is retrograde, but in Aquarius energy. And so this is going to help us kind of get our shit together, meaning, we can whine and cry because we had some tough aspects. We highlighted where it is that we have roles and responsibilities that we don't really want to live up to. We want to fantasize. We want to imagine. We want to take action on what we would like to see ourselves moving into as far as futuristic goals, visions, and dreams go. But technically speaking, we got to boss up, take power and control back over this current situation. And so Pluto, of course, he's retrograde. So this is an internalized assessment, if you will, of our mental programming, of our awareness, of our fears, our doubts, our insecurities, of that self-sabotaging programming. And we're starting to realize where it is that, again, avoiding doing what needs to be done, resisting the changes that need to be made, that is just prolonging the situation and circumstance in this present moment that none of us are very happy in. And so Pluto is like, okay, you can boss up at any moment. You can flip the script at any moment. You can essentially see where it is that you would like to go without moving into la-la land and disassociating from reality. You can have that goalpost. You can have that marker, but you got to come back to the present moment and actually do what needs to be done in order to clear the space and clean the slate for you to actually have a chance in hell of you being in alignment with manifesting this future goal, vision, and dream. So this is a boss up energy. It's also revealing to us some hidden information and details that probably has been in our face this whole time and likely has a lot to do with us wanting to run and hide away from the changes, from the transformations, from the improvements, from the adjustments that we know that we need to be making. We just are having a hard time pulling the trigger and actually executing them. We then have the moon in this Capricorn energy making a very uncomfortable interaction. I'm saying this with emphasis here because this is going to be a hard activation with Venus. So Venus being the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, she is in Gemini energy. Again, Capricorn and Gemini energy have a hard time coming into compromise, have a hard time getting on the same page. Again, earth and air, they are the furthest elements away from each other. And so We're talking about emotions here. The moon is a heart activation. Venus is a heart activation. Venus being in this Gemini energy, she's trying to avoid the emotional disposition and just have fun, just try new things, just explore, just allow her curiosity to kind of show her a different path, a different direction that she could be walking. And at the same time, the moon in Capricorn, again, wants to stick to what has been working, what is tried, tested, true. The path, the plan, the strategy that we were walking. Suddenly, again, Venus and Gemini energy, it's a mutable air sign. Suddenly, we just threw the whole deck of cards up in the air. We don't even care where they fall because we're walking in a different path, a different direction. The moon in Capricorn is over here trying to control everything, trying to, pick up all the cards and put them back in order by suit. And Venus is over here just letting her hair down, having a good time and exploring in different situations and circumstances that she's technically surprising herself that she's even interested in. So we're questioning, again, Gemini energy, debating one path, one direction, one choice point, one decision. We're trying to figure out what makes our heart feel the most happy, the most safe, the most secure that we've ever felt. And we have to find this within ourselves before we can evaluate the people in our lives and whether or not they are supporting that particular cause or they are essentially ruining it. So this isn't going to feel good. It is not supposed to. It is highlighting for us where it is that emotionally speaking, part of us wants to stay the course and keep doing the same old thing. And the other part of us wants to abandon the world around the reality that we built and created and just try everything new. And so the moon is then going to make a beautiful interaction with Uranus, who again just shifted into this Gemini energy that we have not had time to kind of acclimate into. But this is a positive interaction, which means that there's going to be a sense of clarity. Something is happening. We're getting a puzzle piece. We're getting a download. We're getting some insight. We are seeing things from a different lens that we haven't been able to see from as of yet. And once you see, you can't unsee. Once you know, you can't unknow. And a lot of this is, again, challenging the old narrative, challenging the old idea, the old belief system, the old path, the old direction. The traditional sense of Capricorn wants to stick to the same old, although is being highly challenged by this mutable air energy of Gemini. This is helping us to at least open up our mind to see if maybe doing things in a different way could create a different result. Or if opening ourselves up to a new idea at least piques our interest in a way that we haven't felt for a very long time. Again, the Capricorn energy, it is an earth energy, so we tend to get stuck in a rut. We tend to want to stick to the quote unquote perfect plan or perfect strategy or perfect structure that we've already arrived at. Uranus and Gemini is here to flip the tables. Okay, we haven't even thought outside of the box as of yet, but we are starting to get little tiny drips and drabs of insight that's really going to challenge whether or not we want to stay the course. The moon in Capricorn is then going to come into a direct opposition with Jupiter. So Jupiter is the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. He's in Cancer energy. So again, Cancer and Capricorn sit across from each other in the zodiac wheel. When we are dealing with earth and water, typically speaking, in a positive aspect, you water earth, something's going to grow. In a not so great aspect, such as an opposition or a square, this is an opposition, but I'm just talking about the tension and conflict points. When you mix water and earth, you're going to make mud. You're going to get dirty. And so, first of all, we have to understand that Jupiter in this Cancer energy is trying to help us kind of gain a new footing, especially in our inner realm of emotion, stabilize in this new version of self, and really figure out what makes us feel safe, secure, and comfortable in our own skin, in our own body. We're trying to essentially stabilize and strengthen and build our inner realm so securely that it doesn't matter what's going on in the outer realm. We know we're at peace. We know we're safe. We know that we're comfortable. We know that we're taken care of as long as we can take care of our emotional realm. Jupiter in this opposition with the moon is going to trigger a lot of restlessness. A lot of we're just not happy. We're just not content. Whatever was making us happy or content, suddenly we don't want anything to do with it. This is going to show us where it is that we are either facing severe disappointment or discontentment because of our, let's call it, expectations. And let me just say, anytime you have an expectation, you are setting yourself up for disappointment, because an expectation is a potentiality that is not rooted in what is. It is what could possibly be, but it is not what actually is. And so this is highlighting, because again, Jupiter magnifies whatever it is that he's touching, and he's touching the moon, which is our emotional disposition. And in Capricorn energy, it is all about expectations. We are going to, first of all, not be thinking clearly. Secondly, we're a little bit dazed and confused just because of all the energetic shifts that have been going on anyways. And so the roles and responsibilities that we feel called to continue with, because that's the Capricorn energy, we had these big expectations that we thought that we were going to feel fulfilled by them. We thought that we were going to gain, let's call it, accreditation from them. We thought that we were doing the right thing. We were doing a good thing. Now, suddenly, we just realized that the life force energy is being sucked out of us. This isn't nurturing. This isn't us implementing boundaries. This is us, again, overextending ourselves and being highly disappointed because of it. So does it feel good? Absolutely not. Is it something that we need to experience in order to kind of, pull the reins back and reestablish the correct boundary system? 100%. We need to be super, super cautious right now of wanting to totally pivot away from the path, the plan, the strategy, the idea, the goal, the vision that we were kind of excited about, because we're not seeing things clearly. We're sure as hell not feeling things clearly. There is a negative narrative. There's a negative perception. There's a negative lens that we are looking at life through when the moon is in Capricorn energy. And so we're not seeing things as they are. Again, we're seeing things in a skewed light. And this is just, I'm going to say, this is just a bitch slap of reality showing us where it is that we have to kind of get our shit together. First of all, we have to wait until the energy actually supports us in taking action, because now is just not it. We're, but days away from this full moon peaking. But we're also recognizing where things are out of whack, where things are crazy and chaotic, and where we want to kind of restore that order, and what that is going to require from us, specifically with new levels of willpower and a new level of discipline in order to do the hard things, to do the not so nice things, and to kind of bring an ending and a closure, a finality, if you will, to some of the roles and responsibilities that we know 100% we are done with. So we then have the moon in Capricorn energy making a beautiful interaction with Mercury. Mercury, of course, ruler of the mental plane. He's in Leo energy. This is the heart and soul of the zodiac. We have our heart and head working together to get on the same page, to realize what is filling up our cup, what is making our heart happy, and what is not. The Capricorn energy, again, fixated on restrictions, limited viewpoints, limited I'm going to call it action points as well at this particular point in time, because it's not a time to take action or make moves. We're being illuminated with the Capricorn energy on where it is that we're blocked and challenged. Because again, a lot of us are still living in the physical realm and reality with the roles and responsibilities that old version of self was very happy to live in, that now we've outgrown it. We just aren't getting the same kind of fulfillment from it. But the Capricorn energy wants to stick with it because, it's a traditional type of energy. We want to stick with it even if it's killing us. Well, Mercury in Leo energy is like, we're not doing that anymore. If it's not filling up my cup, if it's not making me happy, if it's not, filling me up with life force energy, if it's not invoking some sort of excitement or passion, we're not doing it anymore. Which, again, is a positive thing for us, because we have to remember that in order for us to, again, shift the collective's path and direction, we have to make sure that we're working on our own individual selves. We cannot continue moving throughout our day, honoring our commitments that are literally sucking the life force energy out of us, thinking that we're leading a positive life. If your heart is not happy, if your soul is not full, you are not leading an authentic life. Our goal here is to find happiness, peace, harmony, and joy, excitement, passion in the realm and reality that looks like it's a hellscape. Okay. So we have to override the hellscape. We got to do whatever it is that we need to do in order to fill up our own damn cup. The moon in Capricorn energy is going to then make a beautiful interaction with the North Node in Pisces. This is our last aspect of the day. It's a beautiful one. We love when Capricorn energy and Pisces energy works well together because, again, we're talking about earth and water. When you water earth, something is going to grow. We also love Pisces and Capricorn energy working together because whatever it is that we're able to imagine, whatever it is that we're able to visualize, to actually be excited about and actually have an emotion when we're off in la la land thinking about the potentiality of our future, that's the Pisces energy. We're able to actually bring it into the physical body and manifest it here in the materialistic realm through the Capricorn energy. So this is a beautiful thing. That North Node is trying to get us on the right path, trying to get us in alignment with the next goal, the next step, the next mission, the next purpose. And Pisces energy needs us to heal, needs us to be creative, needs us to listen to our intuition, needs us to surrender. And although the Capricorn energy, being an earth sign, is a little bit more leaning into trying to keep things the same, trying to kind of keep that rigidity, that structure up, when a cardinal energy such as Capricorn is being presented with a new idea, new path, new information, new direction that actually sparks excitement, happiness, and joy in the physical body, we are willing to pivot. We are willing to abandon the long-term plan, the structure, the foundation that we were building. If new information presents itself, that checks out. That checks off, yes, this would be a better path, better direction, better decision for my mind, body, soul. This would improve my overall being. That is when the cardinal energies boss up, take action, and actually flip over that first domino, which is just merely making the choice. And so emotionally speaking, we are starting to see the potentiality of a new path, goal, vision, direction actually form in our mind's eye. It feels pretty good. We are going to think about it logically and practically, again, before taking action and making moves. But emotionally speaking, in this Capricorn energy, we are getting down and dirty, ready to manifest this new realm, this new reality.